Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. Today, guys, we are checking out the very first episode of the show, replacing the Batman on Saturdays. Of course, I'm talking about X-Men Evolution, the show that you guys voted for on the recent poll, replacing the Batman. And I believe this was in the top 2 or 3 for a good bit, and then it started to edge out in the front and get ahead of all the other shows. And thank you guys so much for voting on the poll. It was really helpful to kind of see where you guys are at in terms of what shows you guys really want to check out. It was pretty clear that Batman Brave and the Bold and Green Lantern the Animated Series was shows you guys also want me to check out at some point. So hopefully down the road, maybe down the road sometime, I'll get to those as well. So in terms of X-Men Evolution, my little history with the show leading up to, of course, now checking out for the first time for the channel. I remember when the show started to air, back when it started to air, I believe it was the early 2000s, because it says here on Disney Plus 2000 to 2003, because it literally was coming off of the end of the X-Men 90s series, which to me is one of the greatest animated series of all time. And X-Men, the 90s animated series, to me, is one of the foundations of what made me who I am today in terms of my love for Marvel, my love for comic characters, and just who I am today. That show was one of the reasons why I am who I am today, because I loved that show so much, and I appreciated it back then. Of course, not as much as I do now, but I appreciated it and loved it for what it was back then. So when this show came out, I was kind of iffy on it, and I remember seeing bits and pieces, but it doesn't connect in my head like exactly what I saw in terms of like if I remember anything. I just remember seeing bits and pieces of the show airing at the time when it was airing and not really enjoying it, because at that time I was just so enamored and stuck with that 90s animated series that regardless, I don't think I would have appreciated this show even if I tried to give it a chance, because it was different. It wasn't the same as, before. So that's on me. But now I'm here checking out the very first episode, which is Strategy X. That's the title. And I had to go double check and verify in terms of titles, because as we know, streaming services love to jumble around fucking episodes and all that kind of stuff and have them out of order. Because at one point, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers on Disney Plus was out of order at a point as well. I think it might still be. But regardless, so Strategy X, first episode here, I did confirm that through multiple different websites, confirming the order of the episodes. So let's dive in, guys. Let's check it out and see what happens in the show. I'm excited to jump in and see this rendition of the X-Men, because I need to give this a chance. I need to, and I'm hopeful it's going to be good, because you guys have been saying it's an underrated classic. You guys love it, and I'm assuming I'll end up loving it as well, because I'm definitely a different person than I was back when I was a kid, going, no, this is a new show, no. So let's dive in. X-Men Evolution, Season 1, Episode 1, Strategy X. Let's go. I'm guessing it's not HD, because we have the box, so I guess I'll have to deal with that.
Hey, Jean. Did you get that for the yearbook?
Jean?
No, this
Oh.
is for my personal collection.
Delansky's at it again. Oh, man, that's unbelievable. Oh, man, my cash.
It was 1 coin. Uh-oh.
Got another one.
That's Toad, right? I bet it's Toad.
Delansky picking up a little spare change. What do you care about this scuzzo Summers?
Not much.
Not much.
But I'm not crazy about 3 against 1 either. So how about we settle this peacefully? I said knock it off!
Ooh.
No!
Mmm. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh. Oh. Oh, that was awesome. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. X-Men Evolution.
You okay?
No. That was pretty brutal.
Jean, looks to me like...
Oh, making him think something else.
Of course.
Thanks. Really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we better hurry. I got a train to catch.
That was Storm, right? Train. This is Wolverine. That's gotta be him, yeah. Yeah, I knew it. It was him. I knew it.
Huh? Recycle that, will you?
Oh, shit. Oh, shit, right away. Oh, don't cut away. Come on.
It's hopeless.
Just a moment, you two.
Just a moment. Hold
I'd like you
on.
to meet someone.
Ooh.
This is Kurt Wagner.
Hello?
Yeah.
So, you heard about last night?
difficult not to. It was on all the news channels.
It was a bad situation.
It was.
and There was
He
an
tried to
accident.
help.
Scott's eyes emit a destructive optic blast beam.
Cool.
How about
Cool.
you, Bert? Got a special gift?
Yes, he
for Father
does.
here?
Mr. Talansky,
That principal? Yeah, I think so.
shall we talk about your new friend, Scott Summers?
What about him?
Summers, as you've noticed, has special powers.
Just like he does,
There are
kinda.
others like him.
You do as you're told. Understood?
Oh, Jesus!
How can I be happy when I look like this? I scare people. I don't believe it.
Oh, that's cool.
Normal is what you truly are. Never think otherwise.
Never think
This is
otherwise.
just a disguise.
Action uniform. Right away, okay.
Yo, Summers.
That's quite a jump.
Like it? Surprised you could see it through them smokies of yours. Here, let me help.
Hey,
What's the matter, Summers? Well, as you can see, you and me, we got something in common.
Yeah, now we're both slime.
Nope. I mean, we ain't like other people.
Uh-oh. So I'm breaking in?
One of the students here, he's, kind of like us.
Yes. Todd Talansky.
You know him?
Cerebro just got a reading. He must be using his powers openly now. This thing.
He's in a
is
suit.
Cerebro.
That's cool.
It
That is
detects the
Cerebro, okay.
manifestation of special powers.
Cake.
Oh, I like her suit. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Be careful. Oh, jeez. Uh-oh. Oh, now that he's seeing him, uh-oh.
You blue fur freak! Ah!
you're so slow.
You're so slow.
Yes, Talansky is indeed gifted.
But he shouldn't be in your school. No.
Sometimes, Professor, I feel your good heart blinds even you from the truth.
Oh, boy. He's breaking shit, okay? Kick him out.
Is over. Todd Talansky does have the special gift of the X gene.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Yep. Oh, okay. Yep. Oh. Oh,
You asking me
shit. The
for
training
it? You
room.
brought us here.
Jesus. It's gonna kill him.
You are an angel.
On occasion. How about
On
you?
occasion.
Are you a demon?
Oh, my God.
Over here! Voice print, Charles Xavier. Confirmed.
Okay, shut down.
Ah, now I get it. It's a training area.
Oh, shit.
I am out of here.
I'm out of here. Now he's seen too much, though, unfortunately.
Sorry, Professor. I couldn't stop him.
Wow.
Ooh.
Going somewhere, bub?
A little bit, yeah. Oh.
It's the fat man.
I came back here because I smelled trouble brewing.
Welcome home, old friend. We've missed you.
Yes. Sabretooth's still probably tracking him, probably.
Was ist das?
The SR-77 Blackbird. You want to be part of our team?
Me? I almost got you killed a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Don't do that again.
You don't mind the way I look?
No.
Dude, just don't hassle me about my shades and we'll call
Yep.
it even.
We have a deal then. You were actually inside and you ran away?
Well,
Hey, I freaked. So sue me. I did what I could.
Ah!
oh, it's Mystique. Oh, shit.
Do not be so hard on the boy, Mystique.
No, sir.
That's Magneto. It's
I'll
gotta
be
be.
more
It's
careful.
Magneto.
Mind you are. This is only the beginning.
Dude. And that was the first episode of X-Men Evolution. Wow, what a first episode to start off with this show. Like, they did a lot of stuff in this episode in terms of covering characters, and then of course at the end they're revealing that the principal is actually Mystique in disguise, and Magneto of course is behind it as well. They're working together, of course. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's start off with, I think, the main plot of the episode, which really is Nightcrawler being implemented into the school and everything, and meeting all the characters, because essentially, even though it didn't open with him there, he showed up soon after, and it was all about, you know, him kind of like meeting everybody, and then of course kind of introducing kind of the main core characters, at least for now, because there were some other characters we have been introduced yet that was in the intro of the episode. So it's clear that this is more of like a Nightcrawler kind of introduction to him, just seeing Professor X's school and everything, and meeting Professor X, Storm, and, you know, Jean Grey, and Scott, Cyclops, and then Wolverine is kind of there a little bit in the episode. So let's talk about first the opening of the episode, and we'll kind of go as much in order of the episode as possible to kind of cover some of the big points. So it seems that a portion of the characters are going to be still in a high school setting. It seems like Storm's a little older. She's not in school, at least. It seems, because she was with Professor X the whole time in the episode, so I guess she's not in school, so she's a little bit older. But Jean Grey and Cyclops are both in school. Toad is as well. And I'm assuming Kurt, you know, Nightcrawler, he's going to go to school as well, because I think he's young as well. But we see the football game, and then, of course, these three football players are going after Toad, who's stealing wallets, taking money. So they're justified in a kind of, not to the point of beating the shit out of him, I guess maybe since he's stealing money from people and taking wallets. But that's when, of course, you know, Cyclops Scott steps in, because he's like, you know, leave him alone, whatever, because he knows that, because I think he knew at this point that this guy is a little bit different. He's a mutant as well. But then, okay, Scott wasn't going to use his powers. He wasn't going to use his abilities. He was just going to throw those guys off, and then that's unfortunate when he gets hit, slams into, they're under the bleachers, slams into one of the, like, the actual, like, you know, beams or whatever, because Jean Grey distracts him, and then, of course, sunglasses fall off him, and destruction hits propane tank. It is brutal. And this is what I really appreciate about seeing his powers early on, is showing how destructive this show can be. Of course, we see a little bit later in terms of the danger room, but we see how destructive it can be out of control, because he wasn't prepared for his glasses to fall off, so they just slammed and just boom, big explosion. Of course, football player doesn't remember. And then Professor X was there to kind of change the mind of the cop who was there, who was like, oh, maybe, oh no, it must have been a leak from the tank. Leak from the propane tank, it's fine. But then they go and they get Kurt, who arrives on train. And then we see Cyclops and Jean meet him, and they right away show Kurt, he's kind of, you know, standing offish. He doesn't want to get too close, and he finally shakes hands with Scott, and then he reveals his face, which I think the design of the character is really reminiscent of Nightcrawler for sure. I think all the character designs are really good in terms of what I think of when I think of those characters. Like, this is definitely a version of these characters that I definitely believe is to be the characters. He shows his abilities. It's really cool to see that, to see everybody surprised. And I think they did a pretty good job of showcasing everybody's abilities in the episode that we got introduced to. Of course, Wolverine, we don't see a lot of it. We see the claws, but we don't really see, you know, him really do any fighting in this episode, which makes sense because we're building up to it, I think, with the Sabretooth kind of stalking him at the gas station bit, which I'm like, okay, there's a reason why we're seeing this. Not just because it's Wolverine and he's traveling on the motorcycle, but there must be a reason why we're seeing this specific moment of him traveling. And at first I'm thinking, oh, is the guy running the store, is he going to call somebody or something because there's a mutant here? No, it's Sabretooth who's tracking him. So Sabretooth, I'm assuming, has tracked him back to the X-Mansion. I'm guessing he has. That's my guess, based off of him in the distance watching Wolverine. Keeping enough distance away, because if I'm guessing if he was too close, Wolverine could sense him and smell him. So he's staying at far distance. So I'm guessing he knows where he's going or whatever. And maybe, and I'm assuming, I'm just guessing based off the reveal at the end with Mystique being the principal, of course, wanting to get more information from, you know, it's like, so you know Scott Summers, Toad? And then she turns into that creature. I'm like, who is this? And it's Mystique, of course. There's Magneto. I'm wondering if Sabretooth is working for Magneto as well. If it's all a ploy, like, We have Mystique as the principal, and she's pretending to be the principal, but she's trying to get information and infiltrate somehow into the X Mansion to find out what all exactly Professor X has in his school for gifted children. So Magneto's probably using that front, and maybe, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here, I'm just guessing, maybe Sabretooth is also working for Magneto, and that's a different employee, because maybe Wolverine needs to be taken out, or at least distracted, to be a part of whatever plan Magneto has going. So we'll see about that. And then of course we see where Toad talks to Scott in the hallway after everybody kind of leaves, and it's like, I want to get to know you, man. I want to get to know you. It's like, no. And then of course Scott makes the conscious effort. Hey, I'm gonna call Professor X, and we see Cerebro in this because they're on a phone conversation. Cerebro looks a little bit different than I expected, but it still has the essence of Cerebro as in terms of a giant computer or whatever. But I was kind of expecting more of like to travel down the walkway, and then it's the big circular, room, but it's not exactly like that. But then we see some of the costumes, because after the conversation, Toad is then put through a training session where Storm goes out in her outfit, and she starts throwing down lightning and shit. He's dodging everything. Then he, of course, is chasing Nightcrawler around the mansion. Of course, he's destroying shit. Nightcrawler is actually being conscious of not destroying crap, but Toad is like just jumping on statues and mirrors and breaking them and breaking glass and all that stuff. And then they accidentally get transported into the danger room because, Kurt's like, okay, well, I have to stop us from falling because we're falling straight down to the ground from the chandelier that he attacked me on. They go to the danger room. It has a defense mechanism because with the danger room, I'm guessing, based off of past comics and shows that I've seen and shit, and of course we've seen a little bit in the movies, not much of the danger room. They really didn't highlight the danger room that much at all, except for I think it was the opening of X-Men 3 was really when they showcased it a bit. But you have to set the danger room, you have to like set the presets and all that kind of stuff, and there has to be someone, I'm guessing, at the top to set up the parameters and monitor the whole situation. They got thrown in there, and then it immediately went to defense mode because they just jumped in here without any whatsoever warning, so that the whole entire machine, the whole system went, in defense mode. And that was pretty crazy to see all that where, they were trying to save them both because they're thrown in there. They have no idea what the hell's going on. And then of course, Kurt's like, well, I don't know if I can be here because I screwed up. And of course, Toad got out of there, and Toad doesn't remember anything, thankfully, because Professor X wiped his mind. And then of course, Wolverine was there to kind of stop him for a second. He's like, no, let him go. He's like, whatever. He didn't want to let him go. But seeing Kurt see the Blackbird, he goes, whoa, that's cool. And then he's like, I almost got you killed a few minutes ago. He's like, well, don't do that again. And he's like, and then I think it's interesting how Kurt, he's really conscientious, of course, about his looks because he's afraid of being, made fun of or attacked or whatever. And then that's, of course, when he got the watch in the middle of the episode from Professor X that kind of conceals identity. And they also made a point because I look normal. It's like, no, you are normal, and it's not because of the watch or making you look like a regular human. You're normal because you are a mutant, and that's who you are. You are normal. So they're trying to say you can love this watch, and it's to make sure people are not going to come after you or whatever when you're out in public, but you are normal for who you are. It's not because of the watch, masking who you are. Like, you are normal because of who you are underneath and your powers and your actual look of, you. So I like the fact that they made a very specific point about not letting him just continue on with, I look normal now because I look like a human, when that's not really what they believe, right? So that was a good point. But Kurt's going to stay, and he's like, well, you don't care how I look? It's like, no, as long as you don't mess with my glasses, which is a good point. But honestly, I don't think they care what he looks like. Obviously, if you're someone brand new coming to the school, you've never seen him before, you might go, the fuck? Because at that one point in the danger room, he looks up at Jean Grey, who's floating him, and he's like, are you an angel? He's like, oh, no, not really. Are you a demon? Because, you're not a demon. You may look like kind of like a demon, but you're not. I look like an angel, but I'm not an angel, or it's just the powers and everything and the abilities, the gifts they have. Of course, the ending of the episode, Magneto. We don't see his face. We hear his voice. Also noticed too. I was going to mention this early on, but I kind of got sidetracked to just wanting to cover the episode and talk about the episode. The aspect ratio. It's not HD. It's still in the standard definition, which is a little annoying in terms of the reaction with the boxes. But nothing I can really do about that, unfortunately. I don't know what I can really do about that, because I guess there is no remaster of this show, which is unfortunate. But I really enjoyed this first episode. I really enjoyed how it was structured, and I like the voice cast, the character designs, and especially the outfits when they're actually in their suits, which was really cool. It's definitely different from the X-Men 90s series, but I think that's at the time back then when it was airing, it threw me off. But now, seeing it now and understanding the context, and this is a different time period for these characters, and they're in a different place in their life versus in the X-Men 90s series. So yeah, I'm digging it. So what did you guys think of the first episode of X-Men Evolution? I'm curious to know your thoughts. Whatever thoughts you have, let me know in the comments below, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.